Good morning. Let's see. Yeah, I've got it. Okay. Do we have our coffee? Yes. Do we have our reference image? It helps if I don't have gloves on when it requires my fingerprint. There we go. Have my reference. Put out some fresh paints. How's everybody doing this morning? Hello, Pierre. How are you? Are you driving today? That was a Mountain Dew opening to encourage more caffeine in the system. I had the most bizarre dreams last night. You know, those anxiety dreams. This is your first time here, or first time watching, if you're on the replay. Here, let me put the reference photo up. Oh, I haven't done that in a long time. It's an old one on there. Let's see. Desktop. Mess M2, MQ, Q2. Where you at, Mr. Sargent? There you are. Okay. Let's see, get you up here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Why are you not showing up? Maybe it's just going to take a little bit. Maybe it's being temperamental. Anyway, it is Sargent's Lady Agnew. I love John Singer Sargent. I love it. Yeah, and I'm just about to get going, but I'll be listening closely and popping in. Thank you. That's awesome. Drive safe. Let me get some info up here about Mr. Sargent. He was born in Florence, Italy, to American parents. I'm hoping by putting this up here, it'll keep me from, because that's my coffee. It'll keep me from putting my brush in it. Which means he was truly international. He had American parents, but he was born in Italy. Florence, Italy, to be exact. Let's see. Brushy, brushy, brushy. Okay. He was trained at the École des Beaux-Arts and privately with Carolus Duran. I just started to put that in my coffee. A master of bold, confident brushwork. I know, shocking with Sargent. He was known as a leading portrait painter of his generation. But sometimes critics did not appreciate him like we do today. If you probably are familiar with Madam X, if not, I suggest you pull it up real quick because that one was very controversial for him and historically significant. His work blends the precision of classic training with a loose, expressionistic brushwork that feels modern even today. Portrait of Madame X, Carnation, Lily, Lily, Rose, and many vibrant plein air landscapes and portraits are his most famous works. I chose this one because I thought the face was more interesting, and since we're doing head studies and not as details and not full figure, this was more interesting. This, of course, I did not put an extra layer of gesso on this, and I'm wishing I had now, because it's just sucking it up. He often used a fairly limited palette, but played masterfully with value, contrast, and subtle color shifts, making his colors glow. He was a master of capturing the essence of his subjects with relatively few strokes. Which is one thing I love about him, is very loose looking brush strokes. And this right here, this value that I have on the paper is paper is probably darker than the value that he has on the finished figure. He had very subtle value shifts. Let's see. This is Gertrude Agnew, wife of Sir Andrew Agnew, a Scottish baronet. She was known for her beauty, charm, and social grace. Ooh la la. So we would not have ran in the same circles. Of course, she was charming. Maybe, you know, I'm going to use a small one and just kind of draw it in. When he painted this Lady Agnew, she was about 30 years old, and it helped cement his reputation as a leading portrait artist. I have some palette information too on him that is really interesting. As far as like what colors he used on his palette. This is going to be not very attractive at first. You just have to trust the process. The White House is apparently doing something live at the moment. That's what that chime was. This is just to help me get in some of these basic values and shapes. Like this just goes right there. This painting is celebrated for its relaxed yet sophisticated pose. Lady Agnew reclines with a direct, engaging gaze that feels intimate and natural. This is a detail of a larger piece. In case you were not aware, she's like leaning back in a chair. And yes, I know this drawing looks very rudimentary. but it will come out in the wash in the end. Yeah, I'm doing this a little different this time with this burnt umber. I'm to be honest, I'm really tired. I have started waking up in the middle of the night, and instead of just rolling over and going to sleep, I've been getting up and taking care of a few things, and I pay for it the next morning, so I don't know why I'm doing it. Like I said, I've had anxiety dreams last night. It was really bizarre when I'm into dreams, so, but I won't bore you with it, because, yeah. But I definitely woke up with a what the F and trying to remember everything. Because as soon as I start doing things, I forget what I dreamed about. Okay, I think I got the basis down there enough. And yeah, I know this is way too far over. He used a muted palette dominated of soft grays, blues, and pale flesh tones, with a hint of blush in her cheeks and lips, creating a delicate harmony. I have notes here I'm reading that I took, in case you didn't already realize that. Let's see. My camera's a little to the side, but I'm not going to fix it, because if I do, it will set everything off. It is said that Sargent captured not just her likeness, but her spirit. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, a wonderful, safe weekend. It was very interesting here in the U.S. And I was glued to a lot of news channels. I don't know if that's down far enough, but we'll put it there for now. She's got a chain on there. That'll get painted over though. And that's shorter. I probably should have already done this and then shown painting, but to me this is just part of the process, and it has its value in showing that it just doesn't pop on the canvas. I'm going to focus on the direct gaze. She's got this, her eyes are sort of lifted up, like her chin is down. So the eyes are very important in this one, along with her Very fair skin. I'm not going to get the details of that right now. Again, I'm just trying to get the shapes and the... I did clean out my mineral spirits yesterday. I took Saturday as an easy day. Then yesterday was a kind of a catch-up day like I usually do on Saturday. I did do an unboxing last night, an impromptu unboxing. I didn't think I was going to get sorry, I'm mixing colors at the same time. I didn't think I was going to get my books that I ordered on Saturday, as I had mentioned. So let's see, if I'd used a palette knife, that would have been a lot easier. So I had put off, of course, doing the opening, but then they came late Saturday, and like it was after 6, and I thought, well, I'll just wait and do it next week. Well, of course, I could not wait that long. I wanted to look at them. The colors that were likely in his palette were lead white. Now I'm using titanium white. It's a little bit different in coolness. An ivory black for the dark areas and the outlines. Burnt umber for warm shadows and flesh undertones. Raw umber for the cooler brown tones, and it was used for shadow modulation. Cadmium red light and vermilion, used sparingly for subtle lip and cheek blush. Yellow ochre, let's see, where was it? Warm earth tones in skin and fabric. Cobalt blue or cerulean blue. Now I did not put that on my palette, so maybe I need to go get some. Viridian or emerald green. I've got some viridian up here. You hear Poncho kind of barking. There was a car door. I don't know if it was like the mailman or probably mailman. I also got the eyes too large. Ooh, that's too much value, or too much chrome color, too much color. And there's more of a yellow ochre. I realize the color values, there's going to be a little bit of a color shift from the original to what I'm seeing, because just monitors and cameras, and I think I got this reference image though from the Met. I could be wrong, which if I did should be pretty accurate on their end, but that doesn't mean it is on my end. I may go about this in an untraditional way and go back in after I've got everything laid out and do the really lush, loose brush strokes. Remember, this is a study, not a copy. Always have to remind myself that too. I think I got her nose too long. Get up there. I say it's a study and then I start talking about how things aren't placed right. From what I researched, okay, the warm flesh base, this is really exact, is yellow ochre, burnt umber, and white. And you adjust the whites to opacity. On the cool shadows of the skin, like down here, raw umber, ivory black, cobalt blue, and lead white. And on the lips, he used cadmium red light and some white. We're really getting as exact today compared to usual in info. Like I said, I really like him. What was I getting ready to say? I do need to go get some cobalt blue. I don't have any on my palette. Forgive me for that. I should have been better prepared. I'm sure I have some over in my storage area, my storage room. So I'm going to run over here in a minute and get some when I need it. Right now I'm still just trying to do a monochromatic. And then I'll go over it with the more loose brush strokes. I know her right ear, or our right, is way too big. Way down. I think that one is too. Yeah, I'm going to definitely need the cobalt blue because there's a background that's obvious. Well, maybe use the ivory black in that. Woo! Got a little carried away there. And there's a shadow, an obvious shadow over here. Very cool and temperature shadow. And the little poofy sleeves kind of come out back there. Okay. says balance warm and cool tones to keep skin realistic and lively. Use black to a minimum. Instead, mix shadows from colors for richness. And then I actually got it broke down to the mixes, just in case I needed it. I don't know if you want that much information. If you do, say so, and I'll just put it in the description. I think that's about it. The reason I don't want to go over the whole thing of the mixes is because it talks about like warm flesh base, 3 parts burnt umber, 1 part yellow ochre, and then gradually add the white to lighten and adjust opacity. And then you get a warm flesh tone. This paintbrush feels crooked. See, look at that. This is my burnt umber and yellow ochre. A little more burnt umber. Let's mix some of this white in here. Okay. I think we're pretty close to what the original was. Oops, I needed that darker. I'm still using just mineral spirits too to thin down the paints. I have not started using any walnut oil. She has this like city, you know, cite. I can't pronounce it. You know what I mean. She's sitting on a fancy chair. Put that way. I never know how to pronounce that. That's too light, but we'll fix that. See, I have no trouble when I'm going to go into putting the pattern that's on this chair. It won't be much of an issue for me. But it's doing all the, I think I get intimidated because this is the face. Oh my goodness, you know. There's some cobalt blue in the shadows on the sleeves, so I'm going to wait until I go and get that. I live in a very small house, and my storage room for art supplies is just another room next, 20 feet away. So it shouldn't take me too long to find it. I have them all organized by color. because I use mineral spirits on this first part, I can go over with walnut oil with richer colors, and it will lay down on top of this, and the mineral spirits will dry pretty quickly. Also, if you're new here, there's a whole playlist of master studies of the full live ones. I will say I need to organize my playlist a little better, and it's on my list. I may or may not have spiked my own coffee with paint. Yeah, I think I need to make one of those cups that says this is my coffee cup, not my mineral spirits, or this is not my, for my merch shop. I'm working on getting stuff on there. Again, it's on my list, but getting it. There we go. All right, I am going to run and go get that real quick. I will turn the music on while I do it, just in case. It shouldn't take me that long. As I said, the room is really, really close. Yeah, that wasn't hard to find. The only thing, I would have been back sooner, but I may or may not have zipped my glove into the Ziploc that I had them separated in. But yeah, this is what I'm using. It's just a Grumbacher Academy Cobalt Blue Hue, because cobalt is toxic, so if it has hue on the end of it, that means it's a man-made, or yeah. It's not true cobalt, it just looks like it, as close as they can get. It has been setting for a while and the oil has separated. It has like a, I don't use a lot of cobalt blue. But it has a very, almost like a tame phthalo look to it, if that makes sense. I'm going to work on the eyes here. And just start. I know the mouth is not right. Let's get the mouth right first. And yeah, I know that's really dark. Let me do this. I'll just go. She's not emu. Emo. Emu. That's funny. I'm going to wipe that off because that's way too dark to put what I need on top of it. Plus I got some little freckles over here. Emu. I never said I was the sharpest tech. Just have info about painting. Her mouth is not very wide, but she does have very, her lips are relatively thick. Or, not thick, that's not the right word. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And if I remember, this is live, so things happen. And I'm talking at the same time. So, give me a little grace when it comes to errors. It's not, I know I said I was going to do her eyes, and now I'm working down here. Her eyes are a very important part, and that's all going to be redone. What's there? I have been doing these this year, these master studies on Mondays, and this notebook that I'm using here, the paper is originally 10 by 10, I think. So the taped off image is about 8 by 8. There's like 3 pages left in this notebook. So I don't know if I am going to continue these. If this is something you want to see me keep doing, please let me know, because I may switch it over somehow to something else on Mondays. I don't know. Maybe we'll just start a whole other notebook and do it for Q3 and 4. I'm trying to get the shape of the eyes down. My Southern Drawl just came out, didn't it? I love her eyes. If I can capture, oops, her eyes in there, in this, I will be very happy. It's gonna go between looking like she's staring at you as an evil princess and an evil Disney princess, I should say. I did not put any of that, of my ultramarine and burnt umber mixture on my palette like I usually do. I don't know why. I think I'm giving her kind of a tired expression because I'm tired. Sorry, I don't want to whine, but I sound like I'm whining. Literally. Usually more people are interested once I get this laid out and I'm working on details, is when but I find the beginning, you know, how do they lay it out? How do they lay the foundation? I find it much more interesting than doing the details. To watch. I love doing the details. Yeah, she's got bluish green eyes. Very pretty. Bluish green eyes. Let's go ahead and lay some of that down. I took some cobalt blue and yellow ochre and just mixed it for the base color. And I'll make adjustments. I have a tendency to get one eye lower than the other. Usually it's the right eye's higher. So I'm just checking that to make sure. Mondays, I do not have anything else really going on. So it takes as long as it takes. I don't know if this is going to be a 2-hour video or a 5-hour video. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. The ears tend to have a little redness around them. The eyes, because they're very vascular, and also the nose does too. She has very thin eyelids. You might hear my clock ticking over there. I haven't noticed it in the replays. But hope everybody was safe this weekend. I'm filming this on the 16th. And like I said earlier, I watched the news very closely this weekend. Probably too close. In that I think it affects us when we watch too much news, and it's all bad news. Not that this weekend was all bad news, by any means. I did not go protest this weekend. That may run some people off to know that I wanted to. My husband has limited mobility these days, and my thought was if I get hurt or arrested, I'm not sure how he would get by on a day-to-day basis and stay on top of everything. So I did go to a bookstore here in town. A lovely bookstore. I love that bookstore. And got a copy of Diary of Anne Frank and sent my granddaughter, who is part of the alphabet. I sent her an image. Oh, I need to do that today. I sent her an image of some of the books that they had, because they have a pride section. But for some reason my message didn't go through when I was there to to her or to my hubby. So I've got the book waiting for me down there to get when I get motivated. Hi Marie, how are you doing? What's going on? I'm still kind of laying it out. I'm not there yet, if that makes sense. Looking for my palette knife. There it is. I've got some of that. I think it is anyway. No, that looks like ivory black or Mars black. I'm mixing a little ultramarine blue and burnt umber for the very darks for now, instead of putting black down. It's not what he would have done that I know of, but it's become a good thing for me to do. Oh, thank you, Marie. I appreciate it. It's got a long way to go. We've only been here for like 50 minutes. But hopefully in the end, I just want to get her pupil, because like I said, her eyes are so distinct. Maybe her eyelashes. It's starting to resemble. It's warm in here. Why do I always get warm in here? And then maybe it's the time of day. The AC just hasn't cut on yet. It got too dark there. I know I'm using a very small brush to do this. Let's get her eyebrow in there too. It's dark. If you'll notice, the white part of her eyes are not really white. They're more of a grayish. And the more I look at this, the more my eyes will adjust to the details. So yeah, I just went over what I just painted. That was intentional. I'm still not using my walnut oil. I'm still using only mineral spirits. I got just a dot of the cobalt to mix into my fleshy tones for under the eye. I started to dip my brush into mineral spirits, but I know that was my eye color, but I know what was in it. A little bit of a cobalt blue, gray, greenish in her cheeks here. Like I said, I don't use a lot of cobalt, so this is kind of interesting to have it on my palette. I didn't go to any protests this weekend, but I followed events, and I was very saddened to hear about the senators. That's just, man. I know. I'll quit talking about it because that's. We're here to paint. I don't want to be a downer. It's more of a greenish, yellowish hue over here. Let's get that a little darker. The paint is getting where I can like move it around. I love it when it's like that. I don't have her nostrils on there at all. She has a very petite nose compared to her eyes. I wonder what her profile's like, if it's how much depth it has, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. He painted this much larger than what I am painting it. So, and I'm not saying that to justify my using this tiny brush, but he had I don't know off the top of my head what the dimensions of the original were, but I bet it was at least life size. I did a Sargent early on. One of his, well, I've done two of them in this book. One was of Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, and the other was of, I'm not sure who it was. It was a female. I can't think of the title of it, but I can remember the, I can remember where it's at in here. I was happy with how it turned out, but I could do Sargents till the cows come home. She has a very smooth complexion here. Well, everywhere really, but it's very evident. Like I said, if I can capture her eyes the way he's got them here, and the rest of it looks like a hot mess, I will be happy. Not because I'm a windows of the, or eyes are the windows to the soul type person, but just because her eyes are so striking. I've got a rag down here I'm wiping my brush off on, FYI. She has a shadow from her eyelid on the top part of her iris. I need to mix some more of that. Well, maybe I should be using cobalt. Cobalt and yellow ochre for her eyes to get more accurate. This brush is not a very fine point either. It is, I guess it can get to one, but I'm not using it as one. Till then I got one. She has kind of gold specks in her eyes, and I know I shouldn't be worried about that at this point, but there you have it. I'm looking at it in a mirror just to kind of check it. It doesn't always work visually for me. A lot of times what works better for me is to take a photo of it and then flip it horizontally. And then I can see if things are out of whack. Let's go ahead and put her mouth on here. She doesn't have that little thing right there that I just did. I already laid down some white and burnt umber mixture, so now I'm using the Cad Red to just lightly fill in some color. I don't have her upper lip thick enough. It looks off. We'll fix it. We'll fix her. I put just a touch of mineral spirits on there so that it would make it thinner. The transition there on color in here on the cheeks is very, very, very subtle and smooth. It's not, this is the blue area, this is the red area. Oh, I need to do some background. I just looked at the image on this part looks wild. It sticks out when you all are first looking at it. The first one I did of Sargent in here, I did in acrylic. I was just getting back into doing painting, and I was using acrylic at the time. And I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I'm gonna put a couple of these little highlights in here. Keep removing that one little corner of her eye. It needs some cobalt, or not cobalt, cadmium red in there. Same thing on the other side, a little more. The skin tones are just so nice and warm. They're just so, I don't know, inviting. Just maybe I'm over romanticizing it. Let me put some background in there so that the first thing you see is not this. And I'll put that some hair in there so that you're not I can't decide if see, that's ivory black with a little white added. I think there's some cobalt. I don't know. I think there is a little bit of cobalt mixed here and there, but not a great deal. And I think in here there's some burnt umber mixed in there. If you hear, well, never mind, they left. It sounds like they're leaving. I live in a town with a dirt track, racetrack, that is very well known in the area, and sometimes you can hear the people working on their cars. I know that's not exactly accurate, but it's a good foundation to start with. I added some mineral spirits to this just to kind of block it in. Like I said before, just mineral spirits, it will dry fairly quickly. And or I can go over it with walnut oil in the mixture. And this is a little thick. Ooh, put too much mineral spirits. Let's block this in. Oops. How's that hairdo? Trying to think of who she looked like. Again, this is just blocked in. It's not, the details have not been done. So it's gonna look kind of chunky. I think it needs to go higher actually, especially right here. And this might need to go a little lower. I'm not doing the hairline with this brush because I can't get in there like I want to, and I will just make a hot mess of it with this. It fans out. This brush is very well used. Very well used, but it's great for things like that where you're just blocking in. I'm just going to try and get the hairline along here. Well, her forehead. I'm going to try and get her forehead a little more accurate. I think I got yeah, there's still a lot of things that need work. That's okay. It doesn't come out. I need to do like timed paintings. So there's ones like an hour portrait and 2-hour head study. And I did not get videos recorded this weekend like I thought I was going to. I got my task, or my admin task done, but not my filming. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to schedule stuff. I am about to hit 4,000. I'm looking at her hair's not big enough. And her chin's too wide. Need to put in those shadows. I think her hair goes more like that. That's not terribly different, but it's enough to... Yeah, that's more accurate. And her eye area is not dark enough. Oops. Didn't mean to put that much. That needs to come in. They say every portrait is also a self-portrait. And I have a very square, round jaw. So I tend to do that. That helps. It's not exactly the right color. It needs more yellow ochre. Doing something like this is like a big puzzle. I'm going to start using a little bit of walnut oil, just to help the paintbrush glide a little. And I know that shadow right here is all wrong. Yellow ochre. Now I've got her chin too pointy. Oh, thank you. It's got it's got a lot of work left to do. That's okay. It's only been like an hour and a half. And I spent some of that time reading history notes that I made. So I feel fine about it. It's not. If you're watching this, just remember it's a work in progress. I just heard like a thump. And Poncho's asleep. So I know it's not him. In the future, I'll try not to talk about current events too much, because well, that's one reason I'm painting as much as I am, is because I want to stay sane. World events are pretty harsh. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Really, I've only just now got like the first layer down on the face. There will be a jaw. See, I got her jaw too thick. It's too, yeah, from here to here, it's too much. Let's see if we can adjust that better. I don't know. It's a start. You know, it's a start. I actually put black on there without even thinking about it. Oh, I need to take trash out today. I know you really wanted to know that. Seems like every time I paint on Mondays, that's when I remember my trash. Not that there's a relation to it, but I always hear the truck and the block over. I am going to take a photo and see if there's something I need to focus on. Position and that needs, and that line pops out. That's not supposed to, but like I said, that's the first layer. Chin's much closer. Mouth needs work, but we all knew that. That's a decent start. Oh, I didn't flip it. I just looked at it. Let's see. See, that's what happens when I flip it. I see that this side of the chin does not match up with this side. And it might just, and the eyes are off. And the mouth is not centered. It's over that way too far. So I need to work on this area mostly. Get me a different brush here. I'll get this one. It will go to a point ish. The mouth is easy to fix because I haven't finished the mouth. So or completed the first layer. So it's got that seems a little harsh, but I'm gonna blend it out. With the shadow under here. The ones that I used Mineral Spirit on areas are getting tacky, so that means it's safe to go over. Well, safer to go over it with some walnut oil. Got that too blue. I keep trying to that shadow under there is very bluish green, and I've got it way too. Let me see if what I just did helped at all. Just by doing that mouth a little bit more. I have a feeling it's still going to need it. Yeah, her face is gone. We don't want it to go. We want it to go. Did that make sense? It's going, and this should be the center. Oops, it's a little too dark. That shadow down there starts about here. Still feels like it's going over too far right here. I put my phone here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm on an iPhone and I flip it like that. Yeah, the mouth is still, the chin looks better though, but it's still not. The mouth, I think, is mainly because the shadow of the upper lip is not there yet. She's a beautiful model. I can see why. He wanted to paint her. I've got the red kind of dirtier than I would care. And this is not correct. Oops, I kind of messed up that. see how close that is. I think it still has that look like it's going this way. And I imagine the shadows. Ooh, that wasn't intended. That wasn't very smart. I mixed a little walnut oil with this white for the highlight, just to make sure it stands out a little bit. It doesn't just mix with the this one goes I'll make this much lighter. This shoulder is a little higher. But not to the extent that I had it. I would really love to do a portrait. Well, I guess I have somebody I can do it of. I just don't have a model around here, or I haven't taken measures to have access. I know that there's at least a couple people that would model for me. I just have not pursued it. I need to. I wish I had, oh, I better not say that. I wish I had, I was going to say I wish I had access to a classroom like I used to, and we could get a model. But I don't want to deal with what comes along with that. Watch now, get somebody asking me to do a class at one of the colleges because I put it out in the universe. I've worked as a adjunct and it is, it has its pluses and minuses. I'm looking at the flip version of it. I know I need the highlight in her eyes for one thing, but this does not match up with this. Maybe I just need to put that highlight in there. I think I got too much red. There's a definite mark down there. I know that may be very distracting, me taking a photo. That's just part of the process. It's what I do. Oops. I'm just barely putting any walnut oil on my brush. This needs to be darker, obviously. No, she does not have a mustache. There's just a shadow there that I have not captured yet. I got it too dark. Guess the White House posted on Facebook, in case anybody cares. I don't feel like this brush has, I wish I had this one brush, but it broke over the weekend. It's the only one I think I have. Let's see about this one. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, maybe it's pretty close. Get your eyebrows under control, woman. I think it's softened.